There's nothing more terrifying than one day waking up and realizing that life hasn't gone quite as planned. Maybe you're working a job that you hate that doesn't pay you nearly as much as you deserve. Or maybe you're still stuck in the same old apartment in the same old town that you swore you'd get out of. Or perhaps you're in a toxic relationship still thinking about the one that got away. Now you're in your mid to late 40s wondering where it all went wrong. But what if you had the chance to go back in time? To go back to your youth, your golden age. A time where you spent the days lounging around with your friends without a care in the world. A time where your eyes were full of hope and where it felt like the possibilities in life were endless. When presented with an opportunity to go back to the past and wipe away all of your regrets, would you take it? What's up, Bakas? It's your boy Natty Light, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the spring 2021 anime that I'm most looking forward to. It's called Tokyo Revengers, and if adapted correctly, I'm predicting that it's going to be one of the top animes this season. Now realize I'm going to give very minor spoilers, but most of the stuff happens within the first episode and can be pretty much found in the description. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so for those who have no clue what Tokyo Revengers is about, here's a little brief summary. Our main character is 26-year-old Takemichi Hanagaki, and well, his life sucks. He lives in a beat-up apartment with thin walls, works under a manager that has no respect for him, and he's only ever had one girlfriend. Takemichi is introduced as a man with no goal in life and absolutely no self-esteem. He finds himself constantly apologizing for his actions because, well, he's constantly messing up. Then one day while watching the news, he hears of a report where that one middle school girlfriend that he had, Tachibana Naoto, had apparently died in a gang-related incident. At first, he doesn't think much of it and continues on with his mundane life. But then while waiting for the train on his way home from work, Takemichi is suddenly pushed off of the platform. Now, as you may have guessed, Takemichi doesn't get isekai'd into another world. Instead, he gets sent back in time to the days of his youth. He wakes up as a teenage delinquent once again, which by his recollection was the prime of his life. Then through a series of events, he meets with his first love, Tachibana, once more, and comes up with the resolve to save her life in the future. This is the premise of our story. Now, the idea of a 20-year-old man going back in time to save his childhood friend isn't entirely unique on its own. We saw this back in 2016 with the anime Erased. But what makes the story of Tokyo Revengers so fresh and captivating is that it's a time-traveling story revolving around delinquents. Seriously, these are some badass little kids. Despite it being a shonen, the author doesn't pull his punches with how brutal and savage these characters can be. Like, if you take out the time-traveling aspect of the story, we're dealing with some really harsh stuff here. People are getting raped, extorted, blackmailed, and murdered. Like I said, some badass little kids. Now, if you didn't know, the word delinquent is essentially a genre of itself in terms of anime and manga. Some of my favorite series are actually of the delinquent genre. There's Great Teacher Onizuka, Rainbow, and of course my all-time favorite, Out. If any of these series are appealing to you, just imagine them with some time travel sprinkled throughout the story. So, it would be a crime on my end to make a video about Tokyo Revengers without talking about my favorite part of the series. By far the number one thing that made me fall in love with Tokyo Revengers is the beautiful cast of characters. Now, this isn't to say that every character gets their time in the sun. Truthfully, there are a few characters who I can't be bothered to remember the names of. But the main core of characters, which are the higher ups of the Toman gang, are just beautifully written. So Toman is a gang that our MC ends up joining on his quest to save Tachibana, and throughout his many adventures with the gang, we get to see him interact with the various leaders. Through these interactions, we learn more about the history of the gang and the backstory of each leader. Most, if not all of them, come from some broken home or have some type of tragic past. But this gang, this group of similar individuals, is what gives them the strength to keep pushing through every day. It's their reason to keep getting up in the morning and their reason to smile. After learning of their stories firsthand, it's not surprising to see Takemichi grow, get stronger, and become someone worthy of wearing the Toman name. But as much as these veteran delinquents influence Takemichi, Takemichi influences them just as much. Despite being a delinquent, Takemichi isn't the most intimidating force. He realizes that there are many others out there who can beat him in a fight. But what he does have is an indomitable will and an unrivaled sense of justice. Our main character carries a tremendous weight on his shoulders, but regardless of how the odds are stacked against him, the man will just not give up. The other delinquents see this, and despite not knowing all of his burdens, they still give him a tremendous amount of respect and are inspired by his actions. So there's one more thing I want to say about Tokyo Revengers, and it relates to what I said in the introduction. As much as this story is about Takemichi saving his old girlfriend, it's also him undoing all of his regrets in life. Remember, Takemichi is introduced to us as a weak, feeble adult with no self-esteem. But as a kid who hadn't faced the harsh realities of the world yet, Takemichi was full of ambition and determination. He was even seen as a hero by some. Takemichi realizes that if he wants any chance of saving Tachibana, then he's going to have to turn these qualities up by 1000%. I'm sure we all have a moment where we wish we can go back and change, regardless of how large or small. This is a story of a man who actually has that chance. Alright guys, so that was my little review / endorsement as to why you should watch Tokyo Revengers. It's a story of cleaning up one's past regrets told through the violent but very entertaining adventures of a middle school gang. I just pray that the series has a faithful adaptation. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!